You know, 100 out of 100 times, these underserved, quote unquote, underserved communities, poorer communities, ghettos, the places that everybody thinks are such a problem in this country, and they are. They need help for sure. 100 out of 100 times, they're run by liberals, Democrats. You're not going to find one of these cities with major crime problems, major financial problems, major educational problems, major infrastructure problems. They're all run by Democrats, and they have been for decades. Some of them centuries. Places like Philadelphia, Detroit, New York. When are the people of those communities going to finally wake up and say, maybe we need to change the leadership. We need to change the way we're voting. Instead of checking the D box, let's try and check the R box and see what happens. I don't know how to reach those people and get them to just open their eyes for a minute and say, if everything's so bad, and we're just continually complaining about how bad everything is, and we're blaming the government for it, not the people, maybe we should change the government. So, if I were in a blue city, if I lived there, the first thing I would do is get the heck out, because they're only going to get more violent, poorer, worst place to live. But you got to get out of those places, but don't give up on them. You have to almost be like a missionary and get out of there, but go back in and try and communicate with the people to get them back, to get them on track, not even back on track, just on track to improvement. You know, they look to politicians and government figures to solve all their problems. There's no personal accountability within the liberal movement. It's all government. The solution to everything is more government. You ever wonder why, you know, these liberals you see on the television and politicians, they're always pissed off about something. There's always a problem, or they're creating a problem. Like right now, they're pumping the race war. We are going 100 miles an hour in reverse on race relations in the United States. Like a couple years ago, everything was good. Like people were thriving, there was prosperity. Of course there were still issues, but now, like I said, we're going as fast as we can backwards on race. The liberal left wants to segregate people. I mean, that was the whole thing, was segregation was wrong. Now they want to isolate everybody from each other because of quote-unquote oppression. So it's really going to be up to the liberal electorate, the people, to say enough is enough with this radical leftism, you know, liberalism, which is now turning into Marxism. I mean, I'll tell you right now, if Karl Marx was alive today, he'd probably be on the alt-right. You know, he was a anti-Semite. He believed everybody should own a gun. He was a racist. So, just the irony is unbelievable. And people really need to educate themselves a little bit on politics. We all have a civic responsibility to make a better place for our children, for ourselves too, but for our children and grandchildren. And we're going to leave them a heaping pile of manure. If this continues like this and everybody just kind of turns their head and says, well, just let it crumble because I'm okay. You know, I live out in the sticks and I got a good job and I'm not worried about it. It's going to be a mess for our children. You know, I'd rather fight the battle now so my kid doesn't have to. Ronald Reagan had a quote, something to the effect of, liberals keep digging into a pile of horse manure thinking there's a pony at the bottom. And that's exactly what they do. They just they will ruin everything in the spirit of trying to make one person or one group of people feel a certain way. And it's so disingenuous. They never reach the pony. right? They never get to save that rainbow pony unicorn at the bottom of the pile of horse shit. So it's going to be up to the electorate to figure that out. You know, why do you think they're trying to abolish the police? Why do you think the liberals are on board with abolishing the police? The most authoritarian group of political group we've ever seen in the United States. You have to ask yourself, why would they not want a police force? They're authoritarians. Who's going to enforce their authority? Well, they want to get rid of the local police, who have an elected sheriff that the people can control and that would protect its citizens from the federal government. Well, the federal liberal Democrats, the Obamas and Bidens, they can't have those local sheriffs not enforcing their edicts, so they need to get rid of them and have a federal police force, you know, controlled by not just the federal government, but the UN, you know, the United Nations. It won't even be a sovereign controlled force. It'll be a global training of the police. So globally, all the same rules and laws will be enforced the same way. Not good. You know, that's not what this country was founded on. We were founded on sovereignty and personal responsibility. And all this nonsense about the police stem from, you know, racism and slave hunting and all that's nonsense. Police forces started in the 1700s in Britain. That's why they're called the Bobbies. Some guy named Robert started them. You know, a police force, a centralized police force. So, the point of the story is liberals keep digging through the pile of horse manure to find the pony, and the pony is never there, and they never get to save the pony, but they keep throwing horse shit everywhere. Y'all have a good day.